Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds, and it's time for a top 10.
It's a top 10 auras in Commander.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, BZ, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. We have videos every single day. So if you check yesterday, there's a video released. If you want to support the channel, there's a couple ways to do it. The best way, though, is Patreon. Look, we have a bunch of Patreon supporters, and if you want to join the ranks, we'd appreciate it. There's a link in the description.
Yeah, we love all the Patreon supporters as much as we can without making them comfortable, meaning that you can be loved that exact amount by becoming a patron. Other ways to support us indirectly would be tcgplayer.com, affiliate link in the description below. Go there, buy the magic cards you were going to purchase anyway, spend the same amount of money, get the same exact cards, and guess what, BZ?
What?
They will be supporting the nerds. That's it.
Oh, okay. What about Dragonshield.com? There's a link in the description for that, too. You can go to the site that has the best sleeves in the multiverse.
Good sleeves.
And once you check out, we get a kickback. You don't spend anything extra. You buy the cards straight from the source. Dragon Shield's amazing. I love their stuff.
Also, happy birthday, everybody, to who has a birthday on today. And also, happy birthday to all of your pets. In this video, as always, brought to you by Moxfield.com.
You will not see the ad coming. But we're going to get into the top 10 auras in Commander. I don't really think there's any caveats because it's super obvious what we're doing and how we're doing it.
Yes, if you don't know what an aura is an enchantment that enchants something. It'll say on the card, enchant blank, and it'll have one of those things. That's what an aura is. So let's get right into it. Very first one, it's shared spot, but it's more just one card because
number 10.
One's more. What did I say?
The first one?
Number 10, the first one on our list of top 10 is Curiosity / Keen Sense. Curiosity costs a blue and enchants a creature, and whenever enchanted creature deals damage to a player, draw a card. Keen Sense is the exact same thing, but color shifted to green.
Yeah, the thing that makes these good is that they don't say combat damage, unlike Curious Obsession and all those other versions. These are the original versions that weren't fixed. So if you have a creature that says, hey, when you cast an instant or sorcery, deal 1 damage to each opponent. You draw 3 cards as long as that's the creature you enchanted. There's some other commanders this goes super well with, like Vile Smasher is really good. Borg Rigmos is all right. There's like Tana and Malcolm decks that really like this.
Yeah, anything that's paired up with
Ketis,
anything paired there. This is a fairly niche card, but in the decks that actually go, I want Curiosity, I want Keen Sense, they're absolutely incredible draw engines. And on top of that, something I really like about these cards, this is just speaks to their versatility. Throw it on your opponent's creature. If they have a gutter snipe, it also will do the same effect. Maybe your draw didn't line up to make your Curiosity good. Put it on another creature, which might just stop them from attacking with it. Throw it on their Malcolm. They're not going to stop attacking with their Malcolm.
Yeah, and before anyone thinks we forgot, we were saving until the end. They also infinite combo with things like Niv Mizzet Parun or the other Niv Mizzet Firemind, because he says whenever you
draw a card,
deal damage, and then it says whenever you deal damage, draw a card, so you just draw your entire deck and you loop and you go crazy. These cards, the fact that they sort of like go in your deck when you can go infinite, and then they double as card advantage, or they go with, hey, whenever my commander does anything, I get card advantage, and then sometimes they're not the best, but they can just go off.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's why they're here at number 10, because obviously when these cards are good, they're great, and then when they're kind of poopy, they are just
you will notice.
They are definitely poopy. What is number 9, Brandon?
Well, it's red. It's Curse of Opulence, red mana for an enchantment. You enchant a player with this aura, and whenever anyone attacks them, if you're the one doing it, great. You get a gold token, which is just a treasure, and whenever they do it, they and you get a gold token.
Yeah, so if you don't know, gold is weird. Gold is exactly a treasure, except for it just sacrifices. It doesn't have to tap. Meaning, if someone has a blind obedience, you can still use this randomly.
Right, so don't just like use a treasure token, because it is relevant, and it comes up more often than you think, but it's basically, in terms of this, has nothing to do with what we're evaluating. This card, turns out it's kind of just sweet. I know Joe overlooked this one. I was like, it seems pretty good. And he's like, no, you suck. But actually, here we are, number 9.
Yeah, it's definitely a very solid card. You just put the fact that it costs 1 mana is the biggest strength of this card.
It pays it back right away, but you got to attack.
Yeah, you got to attack. You throw it on. You want it in a deck where you're going to be making those attacks, and it really incentivizes other players to attack whoever has it when they need that mana, and you're just going to get more mana to go along with it. Though the other thing that we didn't mention about gold being relevant is there's a lot of things that work with treasures and combo with treasures. They don't work with this card, sadly.
This is true. I think this card is pretty solid. You just have to make sure your deck wants to jam. You got haste creatures. You got plenty of dumb tokens to send in, where you're never going to not trigger this. As long as you have a board state, like you're getting in, and you're hitting them or you're attacking them at least to get the gold back, this thing's going to go up like, if you play it on turn 1, 2, or 3, you're going to be up like 7 mana by the time the game's over.
Yeah. Next, we have number 8, and it is Rancor, another just 1 mana enchantment. Apparently, that's the key to this list.
Apparently.
It costs a green mana enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+0, and whenever this card is put from the battlefield to the graveyard, return it to its owner's hand.
Arguably the best part, also gives trample.
Yes, it does also give trample. I mean, the best part of this card is that it's 1 mana. It just goes on a creature, and you're going to keep getting it back. It is one of the best ways to give trample in, like, all of Magic.
It's just a cheap way to give, like, relevant evasion. You know, trample, menace, flying, all that stuff is unblockable. Just evasion, because you're going to get through more damage than you would have. There's no point Voltroning up a creature if you cannot give it some kind of evasion. This is the perfect way because it's so cheap. Even if you're digging for answers or digging for evasion, you can play this if you have any mana open.
And one of the best parts of it is when the creature dies, you're just getting it back. You're just putting it back in your hand.
Never goes away.
And then you replay your commander, restart Voltroning, and you just put this back on it again right away.
It's just, especially when you have enchantments out or enchantresses out, there's no cost. It's like, all right, cantrip, great. Now my creature does more. And when it dies, I'll get this back. I'll do it again.
Yeah, I think this is a huge Enchantress card, huge Voltron card. Any augmenting, anything where you care about creatures' powers, also insanely strong. Like
care about auras.
My Helana Lena deck just absolutely loves it because it pumps the power, puts 2 extra counters elsewhere.
That's true. Number 7 is not a 1-mana spell, so we broke the streak. 1 and a green for Kenrith's Transformation. You enchant a creature. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. And then the creature is a 3/3 elk with just absolutely no abilities, no text at all, just a vanilla 3/3. The fact that this card cantrips makes it more unique to me than any other effect like this because you get your card back. It turns it from like, oh, I could play Kasmina's Transmutation, turn something into a frog, but like you're just down a card. This is, nope, you're completely even, and that just changes everything about it.
Yeah, like you said, draw a card is the make or break for this piece of cardboard. If it doesn't draw a card, it's really bad because now you just have Kasmina's Transformation, but it's a 3/3. Wow, that's real bad.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I mean, Witness Protection, there's other talk for because it's 1 mana. Obviously, it's not on this list because it's worse. I think it's worse than Kenrith's Transformation by a lot.
Yeah, so just be aware that these effects, though strong, do fall off a lot when they don't replace themselves.
Yeah, I would be wary. We also like Kenrith's Transformation better than Darksteel Mutation for reference.
Did not make our list. It was in the top 15, but it did not crack the top 10.
How about number 6?
Number 6 is Freed from the Real or Pemmin's Aura. Freed from the Real is 2 and a blue. It enchants creature, pay a blue, tap enchanted creature, pay a blue, untap enchanted creature. Penum's Aura is 1 blue, and it has a lot of other abilities that don't matter, but it has one of the same abilities as our last card, and it's the one that matters. Pay a blue, untap enchanted creature. So the key to these cards is that you pay 1 blue, untap the creature. Okay. Why would that be good? Well, untapping creatures is kind of whatever. It'd be like pseudo-vigilance, but that's not very good. It's all about combos with this card. If your creature taps for a blue and any other mana after that, it's an infinite combo.
You did it. Yeah, you just get infinite mana. Then all you need is a payoff, and you can either draw your whole deck or just win the game on the spot. This is like, I remember we did the top 10 equipment, and I think Umbral Mantle was on there. This is just the Umbral Mantle of Auras. It doesn't do anything. But when you play it, when they play it, you should be terrified because you're about to lose.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't do anything. It's awful. This is a bad Magic card, except for when you're comboing. Then it's an amazing Magic card. And it being such a prolific and great combo piece brings it straight up to number 6 here, which is saying something. That means this card has to combo real well if it's jumping a card that is garbage otherwise up to number 6.
I mean, there's commanders that just do this. I mean, I think Arixmethes taps for green-blue once he's a creature. Zaxara taps for 2 mana of any color. It's like they go real hard with this.
There's just a million combos. Just you can't name them all. It's any creature that taps for 2 mana and one of them's blue.
Also really good with Phoenix if you're going fair. If you have like a 5/5 or a 0/5, you just pay blue to mill somebody for 5.
Kinnan Bonder's Prodigy.
Also good.
It's just it's a ham sandwich is what
a
the
ham
kids
sandwich
say.
will defeat them. This is a funny card because when it's bad, you'll never know. But when it's good, as soon as you see it, the game's over.
Yes. Number 5 is the best version of this effect. And we went over one already, but it's Song of the Dryads. It enchants a permanent. An enchanted permanent is a colorless forest land. All right, this is pretty simple. This is green. Answer anything. It is 3. You enchant whatever stupid little thing you want, and it is a forest. It is really, really strong already without the added thing that I'm about to add. It's any permanent is just a force. You have neutralized any single permanent that was troublesome to you on the battlefield.
In green.
In green. Now add in the fact that you lock commanders in the battlefield in a land spot, which is super hard to get rid of. You have to answer this aura, which some decks cannot do. Grixis colors struggle really, really hard to do that. And you're just like, oh, well, your commander's just stuck there. You're not playing. Your game plan is now completely ruined.
Yeah, it's not like with Kenra's transformation. There, my investment is very low, and I'm just glad to stall and stop whatever creature it is temporarily. But they can sacrifice it. They can just wipe the board, whatever. Especially if they're Grixis colors, there's no stopping this. You have like one card in your deck that can answer an enchantment or bounce it or something, and your commander is just ruined. It's gone. You don't get to play commander. You get to play 100-card singleton.
Yeah, no, 99-card singleton.
99-card
because
singleton.
The one card I wanted, the one I built my deck around,
the
is
best
gone.
one, yeah, you don't get it.
Yeah, it's a brutal card. It's an absolutely brutal card that is not only good, it's great. I mean, I've had this both lock me down, and I've locked down other people with it. It feels bad to be locked down, but you need answers in Commander. You need good removal, and you can't get mad when someone plays a good removal spell. Though you can't complain about it. Like, can you believe
what the heck?
I think my commander was locked in the Kenra's transformation for the last episode of Shuffle Scuffle.
Like the whole time.
Like the whole entire game.
And then it got phased out.
All right, what's number 4, BZ?
Number 4 is actually Moxfield.com. I bet you didn't see that coming. It's the best way to build a deck on the internet. Once you go there, you won't be able to leave because you'll just be stuck brewing decks for the rest of time, which maybe sounds bad, but once you go there, you'll realize, hey, this ain't so bad.
Yeah, and you'll realize you've become immortal.
That's a solid bonus.
It is a solid bonus. So actually, I want to talk about a feature that we haven't mentioned yet that me and BZ use all the time. Cards, you can change their mana value. So something like a Blasphemous Act, which always costs 1 mana, it's not clogging up your average mana value of this deck. No. We're switching that to 1 red because that's what that really costs. Now, when it calculates everything at the end, it's going to go, hey, this is a 1 mana spell. And when I look at my deck and I'm looking like, hey, here's my curve, it puts it in the 1 mana spot. Oh, it's so nice.
And like Blue Sun Zenith is not a 3 mana card. It's like at least a 6 mana card. So you need to you can move everything around and see your actual mana value, which would change from deck to deck like a lot. Certain decks, oh, my mana value is 4.4. It's like, no, it's actually 3.5. Like certain decks that could happen. You're jamming in MDFCs and all this stuff. So it'll help. It'll just help make your deck better. Enough said.
How cheap is your deck going to look when you build out I think it's Zaxara? I think that's what it is. The one that taps, the Hydra that taps for mana makes Hydras. How cheap does your deck look before you adjust things? Because they're all X spells. Your whole deck is X spells.
And Penman's-Aura.
My average mana value is
4. 2.
No, it's 2. It's 2.2.
But it's actually 4.
It's actually 4 because realistically that's what X spells cost.
All right, what's the real number 4?
The real number 4 is Wild Growth or Utopia Sprawl. Wild Growth is 1 green, enchant a land. When enchanted land is tapped for mana, you add an extra green. Utopia Sprawl is enchant a forest for a green, and when it enters the battlefield, you choose a color, and then whenever that land is tapped for mana, you get a mana of that chosen color.
Yeah, these cards were slept on for like a decade in Commander, but people I think are coming around, and we definitely came around for a while ago. These cards are just really, really good. They're fantastic. They're like mana dorks that don't have summoning sickness and can't die to a board wipe.
Yeah, it's really crazy to explain, but yeah, that is just a apt description. They absolutely are some of the best ramp in all of Commander. They're 1 mana ramp. If you're not doing the fast mana stuff where it's like, I'm up immediately, like, your Mox Diamonds, your Chrome Mox, obviously all the fast mana is just over the top, just ridiculous, really ridiculous. This is like slightly lower, but it's one of the best ones once you're off fast mana.
And we talk about how, we're probably never going to get a 1 mana rock that taps for 1. Here you go. This is it. These cards are very good, and you should probably play them in more decks than you're playing them in.
Yeah, they go even on the first turn you play them, as long as you don't play them on turn 1. But when you play them on turn 1, now you've ramped in the 3 mana on turn 2.
1. It's the same as a mana dork on turn 1.
Exactly. And these cards are really, really good. Like, seriously.
Play them.
I feel like there's a lot of players who have not tested these yet. I mean, they're really creeping up. They're becoming very played cards in Commanders. There are definitely some players out there who haven't tried these yet. Just replace Rampant Growth with one of these.
Dip your toe in.
It'll feel pretty good.
Number 3, this is an old card, but it's not necessarily a fair card.
Yeah, it's an oldie but a goodie.
An oldie but a goodie. It's Treachery, 3 blue, technically. You enchant a creature, you steal it, so you control it, but when it enters, you untap 5 lands. So mana cost 0, effect, steal a creature, format, Commander, where people build around creatures.
Now, Mind Control is a really bad effect to Commander.
Ooh,
I think Control Magic, I think Mind Control. These are cards I'm not looking to play. Like, I'm avoiding these cards almost every single time, but Treachery just crosses that threshold. It goes from, like, I'm never playing Mind Control or Control Magic to, holy crap, I'm in for Treachery. This card is great.
It's just like when you read every other Mind Control, you're like, that's it? And then when you read this, you're like, huh? What? 0 mana.
It's just really easy for them to get their creature back. They can bounce it back through their hand. They can destroy the aura, and then you've answered nothing and you've got nowhere. That's true for this card, but you spent no mana, so you lose no tempo when they do that stuff.
You get to double spell on your turn while stealing somebody's best thing, and it's just going to feel amazing.
Yes, and the key, obviously, you know that we're talking about untapping your lands is what makes this card good. It is absolutely what turns this card into it. It can also, like, all of the untap cards can be a ritual. If you have a Nykthos, tap Nykthos for 5 mana, play this, untap extra lands, you just made mana. You generated extra mana.
And then you got a full spell's worth of an effect because it's just a normal costed Mind Control.
Yeah, the card Treachery is really, really good. It's expensive. Don't get I don't know. A lot of people might not know this card even existed because it's a reserve list card from back in Urza's Saga. Urza's Block, at least. I don't remember if it's Saga or not.
Yeah, but I think we also said it was one of the cards that was like still most worth buying, or it was worth buying because it's just so good.
I have one in my Steal Your Stuff deck. Love it.
You can kind of just put it anywhere. It's not like it's ever going to perform bad.
Yeah,
just a synergy question.
Yeah. All right. Now we're into the top 2. Number 2 is Animate Dead and Dance of the Dead. The things that matter about these cards is they're both 2-mana auras that bring creatures from your graveyard to the battlefield, and they enchant them. It really doesn't matter what else they do. One gets rid of some attack. One is like some weird untapped thing that
-1/-0. Yeah,
it's like 70 million lines of text to say that it doesn't untap during untap step or something. None of it matters because all that matters is you're getting back some big, huge, giant effect for 2 mana. And now these are obviously like, they're okay reanimation spells. Actually, they're good. They're good reanimation spells. But on top of being these good reanimation spells that have good rates, they get the downside of they can be destroyed. But they also get the upside, which is way higher.
They are permanents.
They're permanents, and they're combo pieces.
Let's get that Renegade Rallier in. Let's go Sun Titan. Let's just loop these forever, baby.
Let's do that. You said Sun Titan. That is a really good one. There's also World Gorger. That's true. That's a high power combo.
Yeah, World Gorger Dragon. There you go.
Absolutely. And here we left off Necromancy because technically that's not an aura. It becomes an aura. But that would fit here too.
If it was an aura.
If it was technically an aura. But technically, under some weird old card rules,
this list has to be able to be tutored for by Heliod's Pilgrim.
I agree with that. Heliod's Pilgrim needs to be able to get the card or else it's not a real aura.
That's the only card that needs to get it. Every other card, whatever. These cards stand out from among like Freed from the Real and Curiosity because we're talking about like those cards are just bricks. They don't do anything if you're not comboing. This is like, all right, I can't combo, but I'll get a 6-mana creature and dominate the game.
Absolutely. You're like 100%. Like you put these in decks. I play these. These are like Animate Dead personally. Like it is when I want reanimation spells, I go reanimate, Animate Dead.
There you go. 1, 2.
1, 2. And there is no deck I've put reanimated that I haven't put Animate Dead in. That's how absolutely strong this card is.
Yeah. Another thing is worst case scenario, you can animate the opponent's creatures. It doesn't even say your own graveyard.
Yeah, I actually just had that happen in my game of Commander that I played yesterday.
Boom.
They reanimated my Toxrill.
Oh,
I bounced it back to my hand, but you know that was still a really good play by them.
Yes. I wonder if there's any deck that has all 10 of these cards in it. I hope not.
No, these cards do not go together well.
No, they do not.
All right, and our number 1 aura of all time is Beezy. Hit him with it.
It's Pattern of Rebirth, 3 and a green for an aura. You enchant a creature, and when the creature dies, you go find a creature from your deck, and you just put it in play. 3 and a green for an aura. Creature dies, go find a creature, put it in play for free.
Why did you say the exact same thing again?
Because maybe people didn't like hear it, because the words are kind of silly.
Yeah, this card is really, really good. Once you get it on a creature, if your deck is built right, it immediately leads to a win. Like it is not even close. It has combos.
Multiple.
It has multiple combos. It can even do a win. But also, on top of being a combo piece, this is your best creature. As soon as it resolves, as soon as that creature dies, you get your best creature onto the battlefield.
Fully adjusted to... This card comes pre-adjusted to whatever power level you have. As long as you can sacrifice creatures, or you got dummies that they'll die regularly, this is the best creature in your deck. for 3 and a green. I love it because, people talk about, like, we always kind of are saying, like, oh, Tooth and Nail is, like, such a good card. Like, it's brutal. But then the rules committee is like, well, you don't have to play it to win. It's like, you don't. You can just grab Avenger Craterhoof and kill them that way. And this is the same thing. It's like, oh, well, I don't have a combo in my deck, so I guess I'll just grab Craterhoof. Or I guess I'll just grab Avenger single-handed. It's like, really, really, this card is underpriced, overlooked, overperformer. It does everything.
Yeah, and I think it's by far the best aura. Like, you just put it on a creature and your like you said, your best creature's on the battlefield. That's all that matters. And the fact that for some reason, even though this is 4 mana to get your best creature, you still get combos, forget about it.
Yeah,
forget about it.
With like Boomweaver Giant, you don't even have to play Pattern. You just need it in your deck, and you play the Giant, and then obviously it goes and gets Protean Hulk, and then you kill that, and then you just win that way. Whew, Pattern Rebirth. What a Magic card.
What an absolutely amazing Magic card. We're doing top 10s now pretty often.
Once a month.
Every 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks we do a top 10. So why don't you go check out our top 10 equipments? Yeah, we did that. Peace out, Tribe Scouts.